I'm the Book Baron. Welcome in, everybody. I don't know what's going on with the lighting today. I think the sunlight is reflecting off of something outside, and it looks like I'm in spotlight, which is really bizarre. I have a feeling that that's going to change over the course of the video because it's the sun. I can't control that, it turns out. So if the lighting gets weird, I'm so sorry. It at least looks okay right now, so that's nice. Also, just a note, because it's bothering me as I'm editing, there's a tag on my shirt that I keep brushing while I'm recording the video. It sounds like my mouth is making like weird mouth sounds, but I swear to God, it's literally my arms brushing the tag on my shirt. I'm not gonna wear this shirt in the future. Hopefully the sound doesn't bother you too much. It's not that bad, but also like it's noticeable and it was bothering me, so I had to say something. Okay, I'm so sorry. What are we talking about today? Today, I wanted to talk about some upcoming releases for the next couple months. Now, there's only 5. There was more when I started, but the reason I wanted to put this video together was because I have been, if you've seen my wrap up, in a little bit of a reading slump. Like, I've just been having some issues getting excited about wanting to pick up books, staying invested and interested in books as I'm reading them. If I can't immediately sink into the book, I want to DNF it just immediately. I'm just not interested. I don't care. That's true even for the books that I stick out. For the first like 30%, I'm just like, what if I DNF'd it? What if I just like went and found something else? Like maybe this isn't the book for me. And then I'll read it all the way through and I was like, oh, that was good. So I'm having some issues, but I was like, you know what gets me excited is like having a fresh new release where everyone's excited about this book as it's coming out. So I was like, let's look at the calendar. And it turns out I had a good number of books that were on my calendar for upcoming releases for the next 2 months. I had 10 actually, initially when I started drafting up the outline for this video. As it turns out, about 5 of them either got pushed back or there was one I think I hallucinated. It just doesn't exist. I checked the author's Instagram. I checked Goodreads. There is zero evidence that a book by this title or any book was going to be released around this time. I don't know what happened. I genuinely have no clue. So a mystery that shall remain. But all that to say, I only have 5. Actually, when we think about it, it's a good, healthy number for a video. With all of that in mind, one disclaimer. I am giving you the dates to the best of my ability on August 5th. I checked the author's Instagram to make sure there wasn't any announcements. I checked Goodreads and Amazon and kind of like tried to cross-check a few things to make sure that these things were actually still predicted to come out at these dates that I had marked. If they change, it will be announced on the author's Instagram page. If you're excited about one of these, check there, double check there, triple check there, that it hasn't been pushed out. Because with indie authors, the dates change, just constantly. Now that we have a super long intro for a not very long video, let's just jump into things, shall we? The first one that I'm really excited for is Greenlight by Jescie Hall, and I'm realizing as I'm looking at the date, this will already be out by the time you're seeing this video. It's coming out tomorrow my time, but it'll have been out for a couple days your time when you're seeing this, so go download it if it sounds interesting. But this is a standalone that'll be on KU. Okay, slight point of clarification. So, Nikki and I went to attempt to download it from KU on the date of the release. Turns out that it's not available through the KU program. So we messaged someone from her team to know that it's going to be available wide for a little bit, so you can buy it on any platform, and then it'll eventually go to KU. But the person on her team didn't know the exact date, but it will be available eventually on KU. So that's going to delay me picking this book up, unfortunately, because I'm a cheap bitch. It's a dark, new adult college type romance. It's got step siblings. It's supposed to be a toxic bully romance and a little bit of a murder mystery. So when I looked at the synopsis, it's pretty vague. Can I just say, for authors that I know that I like their work, I really like having a vague synopsis because I'm like, ooh, what does that mean? What does it mean? Trying to like figure out like what they're really trying to say with the synopsis. With authors I don't know, I hate it. I was really excited going through this one because I was like, oh, let's read between the lines, shall we? From what I can tell, our hero and heroine seem to have known each other previously. I know there's an online component at some point, so I don't know if the online component is beforehand or like during the second chance part or what, but they've had previous contact of some kind. That has led to a falling out. It sounds like maybe the heroine has ghosted the hero. Unclear though, it could be in reverse. So they hate each other now, I guess. So I don't know if there was more to the falling out before the ghosting or what happened. The hero went down a self-destructive path. He's so just distraught by this whole situation. And eventually, as he's kind of like coming around to things, he's decided he wants to get some revenge. And I think at some point during this whole, like, I want to get revenge, they become step siblings, I think. There's also mention of a body that's never been found. So it sounds like there was a little bit of going on, or an accident of some kind that maybe they both know about, but color me intrigued. So part of the reason that I am so excited about this is not only is this a new book coming out from an author that has been edging us within an inch of our life for like almost a year. The thing that I was talking about at the beginning with my slump is that I struggle to get engaged in a book. The one thing about Jescie Hall's writing that I just love and adore is it's so compulsively readable. From the first chapter, from the first pages, has you engaged in the plot, excited about what's going on, intrigued. You gotta keep reading. Even though I've never had like a truly perfect book from her, usually and by we, I'm referring to me and the voices in my head, apparently. I have no idea why I used the word we instead of I. That makes no sense. You get like a 3.5, 4 star, somewhere in that kind of rating. I always have a good time with her books. I always enjoy them. I have fond memories of reading all of her books. And on top of that, these are some of my favorite tropes. Toxic bully step-sibling, I eat that up. I love that. So that's why I'm really excited about this one. I'm hoping to pick it up on release day. So maybe by the time you're watching this, I'll have already read it.
Oh, she was so naive and young when she said this. Yeah, I won't be picking it up on release day because the aforementioned cheap bitch part of my personality will not allow me to.
A girl can dream. That's probably not going to happen. Next, I have Heart of Frost and Scars by Pam Godwin. So this is coming out on the 26th of August, and it's the third book in the Frozen Fate series. I can't wait for the conclusion of the series. I am so stoked. This is going to be published wide, so if you're interested, you can definitely pre-order it, but it is one of those situations where it's not going to be included on KU as a result. This is dark. It's our queen, Miss Pamela Godwin. It's got a romantic suspense / kind of mystery going on. We have why choose, wilderness, survival. We got a lot of different elements because I don't want to spoil the series because it is such a ride. So much happens. I'll tell you about the first book. Actually, I have a reading vlog of the first book that I will link up here. I think I nailed it this time. I'll tell you about that one so I don't spoil anything. We have our heroine, Frankie, and she is abducted and taken to a remote cabin in the Alaskan bush. There, ends up finding herself at the mercy of these like unsocialized men. They're very rugged, and she's having to learn how to survive in the Alaskan bush while trying to uncover their secrets and figure out why she was taken in the first place. Why is she here? No one's telling her anything. It is through this process that she ends up learning how much love and loyalty can be twisted into weapons. And the secrets that she was trying to uncover go even further than she ever imagined. Like I said, we have all of that going on, and we're trying to survive in the bush of Alaska. It's a lot. Why I'm so excited about this one is, one, we're getting a conclusion to this series, which I have been just adoring and eating up because of that mystery element and the strong plot that Pam always brings to her romances. It's so engaging, especially now because I'm in the series, right? I'm not starting over. I'm with characters I know and like, questions that I have that I want answered. It's going to be action-packed for sure. And that mystery component, like I need answers. I need answers so bad. The cliffhangers have been so gasp-worthy. And I need an HEA for these people, right? Like they deserve it. They have been through so much in 2 books. Even though Why Choose is not normally my thing, Pam Godwin says, I will make it your thing. Ooh, as predicted, that sunshine reflection is starting to move. Now we're moving into September. Next up I have, coming out on September 9th, Pretty Poison by Elle Mitchell. So this is a first in a new series, and I don't know if this is proper series, interconnected series. I couldn't quite tell, but it's a dark, bully, rock star romance, why choose, murder mystery. Interestingly, kind of like mashup of the tropes that we've already talked about with the other 2 books. But we have Tegan, who is our heroine, and she's a little bit of an odd duck. She's kind of known for her obsession with horror and the occult, true crime, those types of things. And she's not really taking the typical path in life, so she kind of has a lone wolf feel to her. She doesn't really have a lot of friends. She kind of just engages in some hookups. She's very much just on her own, but she's completely okay with it. She has decided to start her own true crime podcast, and this ends up getting her to like deep dive into this up and coming rock band called Gods of Tomorrow. They're known for having some pretty disturbing lyrics, really overzealous fans, and quite literally an appetite for blood. Yeah, it seems like there's chaos and violence that's just sort of following this band, and it's not clear on the outset whether this is because of the band and the people they surround themselves or because of the fans, but Bottom line, girls keep disappearing around this band. They are dying under suspicious circumstances, and it seems like no one cares. Everyone's just turning a blind eye to it. Tegan is gonna try and figure this out. She is going to figure out what's causing all of this. And so she gets a backstage pass to their upcoming show. So I will say with this one, there is a warning even in the synopsis that says like, if you don't like blood, like don't read it. Definitely one that you'll probably want to track. I mean, I'm saying it about this one. Check triggers on all these books if you have any that you're concerned about. Like, please and thank you. I read some very dark stuff. The reason I'm excited about this, at first blush, this is not something I would normally go after. I'm not a super big why choose person. That's not like a trope that really draws me in. A lot of times I'm just like, why is there so much schlong? Like, can we just like cool it? That's not normally a trope that I would say appeals to me, but I know Elle Mitchell's writing will bring the heart, the emotion, the character development that I really like, and she is going to be able to support those tropes based on how she's written her other books. Her books happen to have tropes, but she doesn't write to tropes. I just kind of trust her, even though, as I said, why choose Rockstar? Not really my bag, not really my thing. I just don't like anything that has to do with fame because it always just has this like weird feel of like, I'm not like the other girls. Everyone else wants you for your money, but not me, even though I'm still sort of your number one fan somehow. You know what I'm talking about? That was long and rambling. Bottom line, I trust Elle Mitchell. She'll bring the writing to support the tropes. She would be one of those people similar to Pam Godwin that would persuade me to read a book like this. The synopsis when I was reading through it reminded me a little bit of a couple of books / series that I've read before that I enjoy. So it was sort of with the darkness and the blood and the occult and people disappearing around this band. It sort of reminded me of the Sing Me a Song / Sacrificial Lamb series by C.A. Renee. That it was kind of giving me that vibe. But I've also read a rock star why choose romance that has sort of like some mystery around it. The Boys of Belrose by Kate James and Jamin Eve. Ooh yeah, the lighting is definitely changing. Should I move over here? Makes my cheeks look very glowy. Okay, I got distracted by my shiny cheeks. But it sort of sounds like those types of books. And honestly, it sounds like a mashup of the other two books that I've already talked about. So I think that's why I'm excited about it. It's kind of fitting that mood. It's fitting a lot of other tropes that I typically go after. Now I have a book from an author that I've never read from before, but the premise, I was like, that sounds delightful. So coming out on September 12th, Born for Silk by Nicci Harris. This is part of an interconnected series, but I think this is the first one within that series to be published. It's called something like The Cradled Common or something like that. And this one should be on KU. Oh, and so will Elle Mitchell's book, if I didn't say that already. This is going to be more like dystopian dark romance. Get ready. So we are thousands of years in the future, and climate change, genetic manipulation, and war have destroyed what modern civilization has created. What rose up in its place is called the cradle. Basically, in exchange for a life of servitude to this society, you get resources, security, and purpose in life. So our heroine Aster is born into this society. Her designated purpose is to dote on the king, if selected. If selected, she would be considered the king's silk girl. In addition to doting on the king, her job is to provide babies for the trade. I don't know what the trade is, but doesn't that sound sinister? It's also giving like a little bit of Handmaid's Tale. The king in this equation is Rome. He's actually quite monstrous. He's descended from a line of people that have been genetically altered in order to survive and rule in a dystopian world. So he's heartless. It sounds like might even look monstrous. Unclear though. That is all until he meets. Sorry about that. I just had an issue with like memory and my camera. My bad. I don't remember what I was saying, so I just had to try and fix that. But let's just get into the reason why I'm excited for this. So if you watched my July wrap up, you'll know that one of the things that I've been really interested in and has been really intriguing me is more like dystopian, apocalyptic type romances. I think because it just offers some really good tension and it just offers a little bit more in the way of like plot and adventure, changing circumstances. than a lot of other books that I'm reading. So it's just making it a lot more engaging. It just delivers on stakes, right? Like people could die. Falling in love comes with risks. So it kind of has like contemporary appeal, but a lot of the benefits of like fantasy and sci-fi where the world's like kind of made up. Well, that's the reason I'm really into more of those apocalyptic ones. But this came across my Instagram and like I said, I'd never heard of this author before, or you know what? That's not true. I might have heard of this author, but I think because of their name, they've kind of blended in with a few other authors. But when I saw it, I was instantly intrigued where I was like, this is a book I need to read. This is a book that needs to be on my TBR somewhere because it's just right up my alley. I'm so excited to know that there's like another book that fits my mood that's going to be coming, because I feel like lately I keep finding like apocalyptic and dystopian romance authors that no longer write, and it sucks because you already know you have a limited backlist, which is just, it just hurts a little bit. So anyways, all that to say, I'm really excited about this upcoming release from Nicci Harris. Next up and last one, which is great because honestly, I don't know what happened with the lighting. Somehow I ended up with a shadow across my face and I don't know where it's coming from. But we have the long-awaited and much anticipated The Wraith King by Juliette Cross. So this is coming out on September 24th. This will be available on KU to the best of my knowledge. Did I say 25th or 24th? It's the 24th. So this is the first in a new series. I think based on what I've seen, it should be an interconnected series, not a proper series. And it's a fantasy romance, got some dark elements. We got some fae going on. The synopsis is extremely detailed and maybe overly so, to the point that it kind of assumes you have some knowledge of the world a little bit. But this is what I have gathered from that synopsis. In this world, we have light and dark fae, and they have been at war. The dark fae are ruled by the Wraith King, and this war has been bloody. There's been lots of loss of life. They want it to be over desperately. And good news, the Wraith King has announced that he will stop the war for the low, low price of Una Heartstone, giving herself over mind and body. She is the princess of the Light Fae. She does it because she's got to protect her people, right? But the thing is, she doesn't really know why he wants her other than to like get off on like a power trip. See, our Wraith King, Wraithy boy, that's not a good nickname. That's objectively bad. He's got a little prophecy, and it points to our princess here being the key to the rise of the dark fae. So hence he's like willing to give up his little vendetta, this bloody war. That's what I'm calling a little vendetta. Once he gets her, his goal is to force her into submission. But we always know how that goes. It's probably going to backfire on King Boy. The synopsis does say more, but I feel like it reveals too much about the plot. So I'm going to leave it there. All right. The reason I'm so excited about this one is because I have wanted to read this since the cover got revealed so long ago. So I've been excited about this book for a while because this cover, oh my God. Juliette Cross's recent covers have just been so good. So good. It's just stunning. I mean, the way the Wraith King has her head, it just like, it feels so sinister and yet somehow sensual. I love it. I've been trying to get back into high fantasy. I struggle a little bit with fae elements sometimes. It has a little bit of that darkness that I'm always looking for, a little bit of capture captive. So I feel like this is going to be like a good combo and a good way for me to get going with some more fantasy. I will admit with this one, I am a little bit nervous that I've just been looking forward to it for so long that it's going to be a letdown. I don't know, but it is one that I'm very excited for. Those are 5 upcoming releases that I am so looking forward to. Hopefully one of these got you excited. Let me know if you have an upcoming release that you're really stoked about in the next couple of months. I would love to know like what you guys are tracking and looking forward to, because maybe there's something that y'all have your eye on that I just haven't. I get some of my best book recommendations from y'all, so I would love to hear that if you've got a good one coming up. But don't forget to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more content from me, and I really hope I see you on my next video. Bye-bye!